welcome to Writers Cafe. We have a great show for you tonight, and every piece in the show was written by our students here, and they helped create the atmosphere to go with each piece. The seniors basically help produce the show, and we select pieces from the underclassmen when they submit their pieces back in December. Since then, we've done edits, we've worked with the other fabulous people in the building and all the other majors, and incorporated them into our show as well. We hope you enjoy. Thank you.
What's up, what's up, what's up, my soul searchers? Now we got some groovy talent flowing around this sanctuary, so feel free to experience the rhythmic rhymes and the troubled times of these newcomers.
This is go away forever. The birds fly high. I want to die. Darkness is my soul. My heart is a black hole. My hair is black. My parents give me smacks. Lucky Charms? More like self-harm. I bleed red. My dog is dead. I'm a teen. I wear skinny jeans. I love MCR. Hit me with your car. I am not weird. I am feared. FM, we got him. Thank you.
This is Do I Make Your Day? I stub my toe on the world. You are the Legos under my feet. You are a cancer. Mom. I hear your voice, I hurl. I hear you coming, I retreat. You pour. Mom. Even when I was breastfed, the milk was curdled. You smell like rotten meat. You disgust me. Mom.
She is the chocolate melting in my pocket. She is cocoa butter in between my hands when I rub them together. She is like cracking open a cold one with the blankets. She is my lactose. She is my soy, and I'm lactose intolerant. She is the subject of my midday dream. She is like gravy on my midnight ice cream.
You are jean jacket. Birds nest in my spine. Passionate koalas intertwine. I walk through fields of turkey legs. Pirates walk on fractured pegs. Homicidal prancing fairies. Broccoli juice and golden cherries. Thick maple syrup milkshakes. Welcome to Utah Salt Lake. Goodbye, Kansas City. Don't give me your Kansas pity. Walking on celestial waters, giving birth to sons and daughters. The painted kangaroos explode. Expectations bought and sold. Only the clock knows the time. Tick tock. The time shows 6:34. That's when she left me. She played me a song on her ukulele. We watched the stream flow and the birds fly. She picked me nuts and fruits, and we danced in the setting sunshine. And then I would fall, and the clock would start again. Tick tock.
I wrote this for somebody who used to be special to me. You know who you are. It's called Never Miss You. Water falling, drip, drop. Lights flashing in my face. You never texted me back. Carol, I miss you. Maroon 5 makes me sad. Dad, where are you, Dad? D-A-D? Sunny D? Sunny D-A-D? Cartoon Network got rid of Mad. I freaking love that show, man. I think it's great, so we're not dead.
too enraged. Rain tripped off an ashen frame, and I found comfort on my hardwood floor, wearing an oversized jacket. Surrounded by faded photographs underneath the kitchen light at 3 a.m., I become a thunder-dazed menace wanting to howl love poems, an epitaph to a former self. But I held sincerity on my tongue, words too fragile. Dark sand dunes seep below my eyes, and I wonder where sleep has gone. Her rose-colored truth brought no rose-colored skies. Lightning lingered. Pages of prosaic poems, and each I intertwined with her memory. It was a thoughtless way to love, filling pages with polished shades and ignoring cast-on mistakes. Her flushed hue and seafoam sweatshirts invite me. I remember this feeling once again. I'm still dripping from the last time I was led into her sunken setting of false love. Lungs damp, eyes clouded with cumulostratus streams. This wasn't her idea of love. Like the moon, she stayed quietly and left abruptly. Sleep no longer eludes me and light begins to stay. Now sun-soaked in warmth and love dormant, I can set away my poems, wiping mud out of my mind. She was my monsoon in the past, someone who needed to go, but as regrowth begins, I'll always mourn for the rain.
Every night, before I fall asleep, my universe tucks me into bed, leaving no spaces for monsters to creep under my covers or pull at my toes. She folds my blanket into my neck, all while balancing the 9 planets on her fingertips. When she pushes my hair behind my ear, she leaves the earth dangling from my stud earring, like the rings of Saturn that dangle from hers. She tells me a story, if she's not too tired, about a girl with stars in her eyes like the ones in her own. A girl with constellations carved into the palm of her hand that are identical to the ones embedded in her mother's, that remind them just how hard they work to pay the mortgage on time. A girl who has learned to feel the pain of heartbreak off of the corner of Ridge and Lyceum and chew it like a piece of gum, just like her mommy taught her to. A girl who fell in love with the sunrise because it reminded her of her mom's smile, and who grew to hate the sterile smell of a rehab center. Once her story is over and her eyes are heavy, she kisses me on the forehead with her cracked lips that birth supernovas, bedtime stories, and endless I love yous. Before she parts, she's always sure to recite the Lord's Prayer as a reminder to herself that with a new orbit comes a new day. She tells me she loves me to the moon and back before shutting the light and closing my bedroom door.
My thighs are the waves that crash against your shore and pull you under. They carry the trails of your fingers, but you still stare in disgust at my scars. Put that away. Don't nobody want to see that. Them shorts ain't made for you, girl. Your looks will not shrink my stomach. It dangles and bounces at your attention. Beware! My hips are not made to fit into your frail plastic chairs. They are built for thrones, made of elbow grease and gold. Bow down to who you shame for not being in the twig. Smash your hands and pray to the tree. Save your apologies. Keep your judgments. Forget the embarrassment you say I should have. You, my body, is not a topic of your discussion. You will not survive on my insecurities and self-esteem.
All right.
kid, my dad used to think that I was possessed by jinn because I was the only person not afraid to tell him to shut up. He said that no one likes an overbearing girl. But I didn't think he meant me. So I continued to tell kids when I thought their music taste was bad, if their ideas were stupid, and if they were ugly. My mom, she thought I was a brat, so she cut my TV time in half in hopes that time away from London Tipton would improve my character. Instead, I looked to Weezer and wondered why the world had left me here for being honest. You see, before high school, I was the only black kid in a very white, very homeschooled world who was chubby and emo and only wore Doctor Who merchandise. So I realized that if I had any chance of surviving high school, I had to change myself completely. So I compiled together my favorite personas in order to become the ultimate social chameleon. I wanted to bag guys like Summer Finn, have a come up like an Ugly Betty, and charm like Blaine from Glee. In January of 2018, I ran into my ex-boyfriend's brother for the first time in 2 years. He'd buzzed his afro, taken out his septum, found a job at Insomnia Cookies, and was no longer a Puerto Rican skinhead. When he saw me, we rambled on about our mothers, our brothers, his wife, and I left feeling haunted by past personalities. People I left behind, and I started to wonder if I'd become someone to be proud of. Seeing him again reminded me of pretending to love his brother because I was bored and alone and abandoning friends for the sake of finding better offers. Later on that week, I ran away to the Northeast with a girl that reminded me of a dyed Erykah Badu. She only wore her hair in mini braids, the same way I used to during my Lauryn Hill Zelination phase, and she always wore earth tones. Probably because she needed everyone to know she was vegetarian on site. She took me to Rolling Thunder, a place riddled with awkward childhood memories, and of old men having me rolled away on gurneys for breaking it down too hard on the rink. It took one fall for me to bench myself, and afterwards, we caught separate Ubers home. We never hung out again, and sometimes I wonder if I walked away because she admitted she would never hook up with me. You see, she was exactly the kind of hetero-flexible, heterosexual girl I was into. But I don't know, she was always talking about the revolution and overthrowing the white man, and while I was down with the impending race war as much as the next Negro, I really just needed a friend. So I realized that I only agreed to hang out for the same reason white women get bobs and find yoga. I was still stuck trying to manufacture a version of myself that was good enough for others. One that could turn this hetero-flexible into a homosexual and make my middle school self proud. That summer, during a college institute, I met a girl from New Delhi whose eyeballs stuck into her cheeks like peach pits and had jagged, jet black hair that always seemed to find its way into my bathroom sink. We didn't even room together. In fact, I only ever saw her on the arms of Jewish boys from the main line, across the table during writing workshops, and on weekends when she needed me to give her a taste of Philly. I was trying to love my city too, and so I took her wherever she wanted. Where tourists went to gawk at cobblestones, where reenactors could be caught on smoke breaks, to North and to Reading Terminal, and to community pools where little black girls will land on the pavement and let their doogie breaks drip dry. She told me she loved black people, so I let her touch my braids whenever she wanted. I needed her to remember Philly for me, for introducing her to the urban allure of hanging out on rooftops until the sun set, how to properly order a Philly cheesesteak, and whatever the hell happened to Philly Jesus. Apparently he shaved his head and got married. On the last day, I lugged around her industrial-sized suitcase as she made pit stops to all of her favorite homeless people, giving them any blankets and food she could spare before going home. You know how tourists think poverty is adorable. When we were done, we sat at the Gershman steps as we waited for her Uber to take her back to the airport, and when the car pulled around the corner, she handed me a note she'd written to say goodbye. I didn't read it until she pulled off, but when I did, I saw that she thanked me and told me to never stop being the chillest and sickest chick. At the time, that meant more to me than when my writing teacher said I had potential, or my taxidermy teacher said that I was a natural. With her, there was something that made me feel like I wasn't supposed to lie. Maybe it was the fact that she was leaving the country in a month, or that she was a Scorpio. But with her, I felt like I owed it to her to give her an honest taste of Philly, to earn the title of being the chillest and sickest chick.
To the man that walked into my diner on a Saturday morning, wearing a gray Nike sweatsuit and Kyrie 4s, I just want to say hi. I sat you in booth 24 with Kelly, not for its comfortability or her great customer service, but because I felt entitled to stare at the person that left me speechless. I spent the last hour or two picturing you, sneaking over to ask for my number, but you just sat and ate your pancakes. Or was it a waffle? Whatever it was, I was jealous. Not of the food, but of how you wrapped your lips around half-washed metal. I mean, that's basically like you kissing every John that ever used that utensil right in front of me. Leave it to me to feel hurt. I like to call myself a love poet. I write love poems in my phone until I run out of storage, which reminds me of all the room that I should give love to manifest itself. Sometimes my mind goes blank, just to prove to me that I know nothing about love. They say love is blind. Mine is deaf too. So I keep my poems tucked in my heart. Maybe one day when we're finished arguing, you'll get to hear them. My heart isn't good at keeping secrets when she's racing. They say that love is pure and messy, like the world, like God intended. So I'm a love poet. Here's another poem written about you, and about how I love you the same way I learned to speak Spanish. Scared of looking stupid but reckless. With 4 seasons of Dora and novelas under my belt, I'm glad I get to say I love you in more languages than one. I'm a love poet, and I love to write about you, how I see the galaxy in your face, the sweetness in your eyes. Thankfully, I've written you and our love into existence. So now, I get to write more love poems on your lips than in notebooks. So, to the man that walked into my diner on a Saturday morning, hi, I know you're in the crowd. I see you, and I hope you're proud. I love you.
I swallowed my crystal ball, caught it in my stomach, cut it out with a sword. I placed it on a mantle and I bathed in its reflected glory. The spell would work this time. This doesn't make sense! I passed out on an altar table. I have school tomorrow. I'll stay home again. I did the math this time. 67 days. I've forgotten how to sleep! I said I'd try to work this out. I was lying to you. My family taught me to pretend this is what I want. I'm telling the truth. The sun will rise tomorrow and you will be the same person. Just without the wondering, without the quiet. This is a good decision, Mikey. You always made the decisions! I wore my glasses less. I became more social in case the world ends. Shut up! I fell to my knees on camera. Scrubbed my lips with brown sugar and honey. I finally felt wanted. Shut up! Be surface level. You're draining. I can be perfect, I promise. I haven't had a dream in 3 months. I can't hang out today. I'm busy. My bed became a place for hibernation. My spell hasn't worked. I've been up all night. My voice was taken away. And I am fragile. So I wiped the blood from my palms. The sun met my skin and I bathed in it. I made the decision. I woke up this morning.
The roach ran from my feet as I unbuttoned my pants and sat on the toilet. He crawled up the wall of the tub and turned his little head to check if I was looking at him. He paused. We both felt ease as I stared down. He raised his antennas to question my decisions. I thought, he too is living and surviving, hoping to thrive. Why should I decide his death? Size an indication of my right to slaughter, or emotions a valid reason to target? I asked him what he thought. It was only fair. With only a movement closer rather than further from my feet, he reminded me of decisions that fall out of control and the feeling of pressure without purpose. So he scurried on through the crack between the tub and the tile. I could only hope for life to one day return the type of empathy by not stomping on me.
The blinds which adorn the three windows around me, let in the soft light of a winter morning. No sun rays are apparent, yet it isn't as dark as yesterday's dusk. I pull my legs toward the center of my body and close my eyes. In and out the nose. I read online that placing one's hands palm up on their knees allows them to feel the vibrations from the core of the earth. I'm not sure if I believe it or not. In and out. My ceiling fan silhouetted with dust becomes louder as the rhythm of my breathing steadies. It scratches at my ears until I flinch. In and out. I notice my shirt tugging the wrong way, the cold sweat between the back of my hands and top of my knees. Buds crawl across the nape of my neck and my ankles. Surely someone is watching me. Sparse traffic passes outside my window, distracting me too easily, and the fan sounds as if it's lost a screw. I hear an unwanted dialogue. And out. I can't figure out how to shut it off. My eyes snap open and refocus on my bleak surroundings. I opt for a nap instead, and don't wake until the faint sun begins to fade even more. But I try again, too much noise. Another time, my breath just won't steady. I try again at 5 in the morning, when the house is still and I know peace so intimately. My room carries the same warmth as a day's evening, when a lamp is turned on at a dark hour. In and out the nose. It may be because of the sleep, which still pushes down in my eyelids, that my shoulders are finally able to relax, my mind able to clear after the 3rd minute, and monks chanting is the only sound my ears process. I can no longer sense contact with the floor beneath me, begin to feel as if I'm floating just an inch or so above the ground. My limbs are sunk into a slumber. There's a tingling in the space between my palm and the root of my fingers, my body feels empty in a way, and I understand the feelings of all the inanimate objects around me. It is the only time I feel being known is okay. I see white behind my eyelids and lieu of black. He sits in front of me, foremirroring the cross of my legs, the contact between my shins and the rough carpet. I recognize his eyes as similar to my own. There's a pressure applied against both my hands, and I detect the feelings of a proud father. It is our first connection, and the last time I am unable to believe.
In an ocean of 400 miles, where a black sand shore meets rich
Brown soil.
Myself against your current out of fear that I would drown us both. Because I would rather be useful than in love, like shells overturned by shallow waves. I wanted to be the force that kept you going. To build a place within the crevice of your lungs and dovetail with the rise of your chest.
All the things I knew so early on were but a few seeds from a single unripened fruit. What did I know of pomegranate hearts in a forest of willows and ashes, all that needed to be defied for love and life to find its way?
I have never known a love without masochism. One that did not pull at the linings of my stomach and push into my esophagus and spill between teeth. That day, I found you sprouting from a crack in Kensington, and I was reminded that seeds scatter themselves wherever the sun is brightest.
The cold spilled into the doorway as you left, like the sea into the door of a submarine. But what replaces the cold is not always warmth. Sometimes it is freedom from the cold completely. It is finding your love in the numbness of my fingers, hearing your voice in the wind that blows tears from my eyes. This love, it was born in the cold. But even then, I could not imagine a future with you in which you were any less beautiful, and I was any less depressed by the notion of without you.
You have a scowl that holds enough cynicism for the both of us. A palm that holds the warmth of worlds created to cradle peonies, and a heart that softens mine. One that whispers, you are okay.
Right now, I wish that you were here, so I could rest in the brown Chanel hammock in your eyes and pick violet pomegranate seeds from your hair. You are my peace of mind, and the only piece of my mind that I'm not willing to sacrifice for the culture.
Sometimes I wish I could send you into the clouds with your wrist tied to a balloon, because I only know how to cope with the childlike loss. And if you went up with the clouds, I could at least say that we ended on a high note.
You have a smile that says you belong here, a kiss that says that's what it's all about, and a slap on the arm that says there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
You told me you needed me, and so we tentatively tugged at stems to summon the power to uproot anything.
Trapped behind the bars behind my eyes, 1,000 new ways to say that I love you. I tap out jailhouse blues on your skin. You sneak a key into a red velvet birthday cake, and I'm reminded that I am far too young not to be free.
Yourselves ruled by selfishness, we morphed into silk spread thin like spider webs, and I have come to realize that my love for you was never about belonging to me.
And that adventure means finding more than what you know.
I guess I never realized how much I liked math until last year when I was doing my homework. I mean, who knew you could have so much fun finding the horizontal and vertical exponents for graphing rational functions? And all on a Friday night? Yeah, I get it. Most people, they hate math. You have to get the cosine of pi, but your calculator's in degree mode, so you get some weird long decimal instead. And you forget a coefficient, but you forget a coefficient, so your entire problem's messed up. And it seems all you need is PEMDAS until you see a Facebook post like this. I've seen tests where students literally wrote coordinates as yx instead of xy. I know, ridiculous, right? But me, I love math. I love math so much. I don't mind finding the derivative and finding x for the rest of my life. Except when those related rates gets too complicated. I would rather do optimization. Math and I, we go a long way back. It probably started with first in math in the second grade. Every day and play games on the website until I remembered I had actual homework to do. They had this panda-themed bonus game that I loved so much. It was basically Sudoku in disguise. And skill sets, those gave you the most points. After that, I checked the leaderboards. There was one for my class, one for all the second graders in my school, and then the whole school district second graders. I was a little obsessed. But even with all that effort, I was never first place in my class because one of my classmates was always a few hundred points ahead. And I hated it because who are you and what are you doing with your time to be ahead of me? So I tracked him down and I cracked the system of usernames and numbers that the school used. Chan was number 04. And you want to know who is ahead of me? Number 02, Abdullah. And boy, did I think he was cute once I found out. I mean, he was adorable all on his own. After that, I noticed whenever the window shades were up, you could see the light filter through his eyelashes. But math was what really got me. But number 02 and I, we were never going to work out because my crush on him was absolutely ridiculous. I was so afraid to even be near him because I thought I wasn't smart enough. I mean, it's the second grade. No one's discovered insecurities yet. But I decided to get ahead of the curve. But I'm fine with remembering him solely for 1, math, and 2, his eyelashes, because those things were so long and curled. Mine just goes straight down. But I did see him last year though, right before I took some test. It's a subject test. Math 2, that's right, me and math again. All the central kids around me won't stop complaining about how they can't use their calculators for the chemistry test. I honestly thought some of them would have looked it up beforehand. I guess I was expecting too much from them. The kid behind me won't stop complaining when number 02 walks in and sits in the front of my row. I'm trying to focus on filling out the bubble sheets and, singing the unit circle song in my head. But I can't because I'm thinking and looking way too much. And the second grader in me won't stop thinking, I bet he's here to take the math test, because he was always so good at math. Anyway, I got a 630 out of 800. I know, I could have done better. I had to skip those trig identity questions because if I couldn't remember sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, then there was no point. So yeah, old crushes and boys, not so good for math. So I guess I've concluded, screw love and stick with your math problems. I guess I'll keep that in mind for the next 4 years.
My bitten down nails pressed together under my cheek, an extra cushion for my head. My mother sings to me as my bare feet tuck beneath my comforter. She caresses my hair, pulls it back from my forehead, and ends a lullaby with an Eskimo kiss, or as she refers to it as nosy nosy. My mother is not one that carries an angelic voice for all to love, but carries a voice that I love that sends me to sleep soundly. sing to me in years. That timeline of my life had already escaped that era. Instead, her voice and my voice reaches octaves that no one, not even each other, wants to hear. Her voice holds worries of the future, not realizing my mind holds them too. Once I leave, will I still remember her soothing tune? Could I survive without it? Are lullabies just for the child, or the mother too?
Esa día mi bebé, mi bebé, mi bebé. Esa día mi bebé, la nena de mami.
When I'm older and motherhood becomes my home, I wonder if my nose and sweet lullaby will send my children to a peaceful slumber, just as my mother's did.
Esa día mi bebé, mi bebé, mi bebé. Esa día
I am sapiosexual, a sucker for the intellectual, for the minds of many imaginations, foolish for the soul who sings SWV's weak, who has an ear for sweet harmonies. I am attached to the one who loves to talk about indulgences, the one who hungers for lyrical longings, not just small talk for talk, to the one whose eyes lock with mine as each word rolls off the tip of my tongue. I desire deep thought, to fall in love with articulation, to react to brain stimulation, to lose myself in secret beneath the sheets of his mind, to lose myself in reasoning, make love to the intellectual being, caress my intelligence with fingers, wrap myself around dialect. I want to seep into folds of the cranium, submitting myself as a new language. As a unit, let our ingenious psyches mingle, allow my infectious knowledge to leave shivers on skin as I caress the most sacred and divine portions of the mind, question my words and challenge my wisdom. Teach me until it all falls in place, lead me to curiosity to learn, allow me to explore the definition of what's in between each line, teach me until it all makes sense, until ideas leave me questioning how deep this sapiosexuality is.
What's up?
Nothing.
What's the deal?
Maybe just have nothing to say.
What do you mean?
What's that supposed to mean?
You mean maybe we should find like a hobby or something? Or a friend?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You could maybe play guitar or paint or sing. Mom said cousin Andy found God and that helped him.
Where'd you find him?
I'm serious, you're not acting like you.
How am I supposed to act? I just feel like I'm in space.
Remember when we watched Gravity? Why would you want to go there? You're basically begging to be killed.
That's what I mean.
You don't mean that. What does that even mean? Are you suicidal now?
God, no, I just... Do you know how long he is in space?
No, why would I? Why do you?
I just feel like I'm floating. And I keep trying to move, but the gravity keeps me stuck in space.
looking at the same stars and reminding me that everything just is.
Astronauts aren't lost. NASA gives them a map, satellites or something.
I just mean I feel stuck.
It's your night to do the dishes. It's your night to do the dishes.
It's 6.
I don't want to get stuck to me again.
Okay.
I'm worried about you.
There's nothing wrong.
There's no people here.
So? Plenty of paintings have no people in them. Starry Night doesn't have any people in them either.
Yeah, but it's all dark and empty and...
Lonely?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go do the dishes.
Not this one.
Is someone else there?
Yeah. I guess there is.
I guess there are other people in space. Why don't we do something?
You know, I was thinking about it and what's wrong. About space.
What?
I used to think it was this lonely place and everyone was just stuck there, but it's actually beautiful. And it's not so bad when someone else is there. We usually forget that we aren't alone, but then you just like land on the planet and there they are.
Thought about it a lot, huh?
All right, so introduce your character.
This is my character, and his name is Mitch Rivers. He loves classic cartoons, comic books, video games, and puzzles.
Mitch? Really, that's the name you went with?
Shush, you can come up with a better one.
All right, whatever. What's your character, player 2? My character is also a low-rank henchman, rank 24. His name, Eric Levins. He is observant and the first to geek out about video games and comics with Mitch. Okay, so your characters, Mitch and Eric, are henchmen for the illustrious, the infamous,
The overzealous
oh, hush, Dr.
Night Terror. And she is planning Dr. Night Terror. What's wrong with it? It's her villain name.
What, Professor Sleepyhead was taken? Seriously, how are you going to criticize me for my character's name and come up with a silly villain name like Dr. Night Terror?
Whatever. Can we get on with the game? This is it. This is the day that she will finally best her greatest enemy, the Dreamcatcher.
The Dreamcatcher.
Clever. I know. Moving on. Attack on these headquarters.
Listen up, my henchmen.
By now, you have probably all heard of my plans to take down my arch nemesis in the upcoming days. I have gathered you all here today because 2 of you are going to be lucky enough to aid me in this mission. And those 2 lucky somebodies are... Henchman number 21 and number 24. You both will be lucky enough to be my decoys in my mission. You all dismissed.
Decoys? Oh man, I'm not trying to be down by Dreamcatcher. The man's terrifyingly ripped. I know what you mean. Remember Christmas Eve? I remember Christmas Eve. This is not going to be like Christmas Eve. I refuse. Well, what are we going to do about it? She's our boss. How about we do it instead? What? We fight Dreamcatcher. Wait, Dreamcatcher? Are you crazy? Didn't we just go over how we didn't want this guy to beat us? Just hear me out. The day of the attack, we go ahead of Dr. Terror, and while we are engaged with him, they sneak into his basement after, and he'll totally be distracted. Okay. So say we do go along with this plan. How do we get past Terror? She isn't going to allow us to leave her later when she wants to use us as her decoys. We escape tonight and sleep over at my house. In the morning, we can go to Dreamcatcher's headquarters. If we die, I'm totally going to kill you.
I'm glad you were Eric saying that.
Oh, this is our first game, and if we die because of your stupid plan, I'm going off.
Stop whining, and we'll be fine.
So you 2 are doing this?
Yes.
Yeah. Alright. You 2, in the dead of night, try to sneak out of the lair of Dr. Night Terror. I need you both to make stealth rolls.
Yes, I rolled an 18.
You've been awfully quiet, Mitch. What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Come on, man, a 1? We are so dead.
While your teammate glides gracefully across the floor, making no sound, you, Mitch, try to follow, only to trip. Causing loud thuds from the halls.
What was that?
Hi.
Eric has time to hide, but Mitch does not. He rolled a natural 1.
Are you serious?
Don't blow our cover. Eric is going to hide.
Number 21, what are you doing out of your chambers after hours?
Oh, I was just,
I can't think of a good lie.
Just make up something. Going to give him a nice snack.
A snack?
Are you serious, Player One?
You said make up something.
It was not a very good lie. Make a deception roll.
All right, come on. I rolled a 10, is that enough? A snack, huh? Why don't you come with me to my lab to test out my new experiment?
And that would be?
My truth serum.
I'm going to attack her from behind.
You're going to attack your boss.
Yes, I'm going to distract her so we can both run.
Alright, let me roll perception. Oh god, a 2. She doesn't even see you.
Get away from me! Run! Place the base on lockdown now!
Well, no, we'll be hunted now and forget about going back to our job.
Oh yeah, you should not have a job anymore.
Well then, let's continue to Dreamcatcher's headquarters.
You still want to take on Dreamcatcher after what just happened?
Come on, we can't go back now. Everything we went through will be for nothing.
Okay, fine. Eric and Mitch in the morning will go to Dreamcatcher supporters to continue their plan.
All right, but you're gonna have to make me some rolls.
I cannot believe Dreamcatcher's headquarters is in an apartment complex. And on the top floor, too! I think I pulled something on my leg. Maybe inside this apartment, there's a bookshelf that's actually a secret entrance to his true hideout.
Maybe. Well, it's now or never. Tara's gonna be here real soon.
Prepare yourself, Dreamcatcher! We are Henchmen, here to defeat you in the name of Vilner!
Yes.
Okay. From your uniforms, I'm going to suggest that you were Dr. Tara's henchmen. The woman sure knows how to surprise a guy. I was just having the rest of my day off. Seems my plans have been cut.
Yeah, she sure does. She said today was the perfect day to attack you.
Mm-hmm. And will she be arriving before or after I've beaten you to it?
Before?
Doesn't appear so. Line up. What was that?
I'm gonna push him.
Roll an athletics check.
12.
I'm gonna do the same.
Roll.
20!
You knocked him out balance and picking him down. You have one chance to do something.
Punch him. I punch him!
Roll.
19!
You punch him! You do 5 damage.
5 damage.
His turn. A 20.
Get off of me!
I grab a cycle to trigger.
Roll.
15.
Looks like your first time.
My. It seems I'm a bit fashionably late.
Dr. Tara. I was wondering when you'd make an appearance. I thought I'd have to busy myself with your lackeys until you're waiting for you to show up.
No need to wait any longer, my dear enemy. I've got you exactly where I want you.
And what makes you say that?
I'm the one holding the gun.
Are you going to shoot it?
You know how crazy I can be.
What is happening? I think they're flirting!
Now what?
Now, that weapon is set on a timer. It'll explode within a minute.
It'll kill you along with me. You're not that crazy.
Aren't I?
Okay, is there a self-destruct button on this device?
Of course not. Dr. Tara isn't dumb enough to put a self-destruct button on her devices.
Can I roll for it though to see?
But
Can you roll?
fine. But you'll have to roll quite high for there to be one on there.
20.
You find the self-destruct button.
I'm going to click it and throw it at her.
Blow her up!
All right, rolling under the same.
Another 20.
And what did you get, Game Master?
I rolled a 1.
Terror! Catch!
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no!
You killed her.
You did it. You.
So we won.
Well, yeah. You're believed to be that intern that learned the error of your ways. And whenever you even Dreamcatcher, though still in mourning, not your part. You're viewed as heroes in the community.
We tiptoe down the valley and whisper in each other's ears of original sin, where desire lies embedded in the soil that we tread across. You only ask for all of me. Run the tips of your fingers behind my ears and outline the subtlety of the horizon. You tell me that it is just yellow and red. But that horizon is the only thing that shines through the stained glass of the ballroom, where we only share a glance across the floor, and I try to tell you that this is where lust lies. All that I ask of you is to see how the sun splashes across the walls, how the yellow and the red cast the silhouette of your face onto mine, and how the inch between our lips is finally tied together with a thin string. Now that I have fallen into your arms, I will remember this dance once again, the two-step of my beating heart, the rhythm of my soles. Now that you can lead me into your waltz, I will kiss your hand and sing the refrain of your life once again. The eighth note of your laughter, the key of your voice. Now that I have given you all of me, I will write our story with blood and quill, spend my days asking why, and never hearing a sound again.
He who conquers, I shall make him a pillar. Guard my mind, the refuge for worship. The compass needle of a steeple throbs on the tapering walls of my skin to the rhythm of church bells. The Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. The stained glass doors into my brain, tinted into molten mosaics, filter the bleary, polluted light through my eyes, inscribed, to set the mind on the spirit is life and peace. The Eucharist, palm of a crossed wafer, as pale and brittle as paper, dissolves in my own blessed wine of ink to imprint on my tongue. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The spine of my thoughts is the binding to my own Bible. My hands are the wings of an altar, as I kneel to an unbaptized page, yet another faceless force.
We've been placed under a false pretense of our falling ancestors. Pendulums that sway back and forth until finally one hits more gravity. A ticking bomb politicians say are fireworks. Figurehead, monument of America, placed on the mantle by the Republic and upheld by higher secrets because of his virtue. The pressure gnawing at my torso that aches from wounds, from AK-47s and grenades, that had found its way into the haven by the pond, hitting every beat possible. The world has touched me softly, bombs embedded within my breast. They break violently, ripping me, opening my insides. Removed from borderlines that were supposed to be bridges. I've been silenced by the anarchy, forced sacramental bread by the communion. My opinions blend in with the overpowering choir, while I am forced to stay silent. Forced to take shots and conceal wounds, as if they were skin. I swallow my idea of paradise, utopias that stand strong but are stripped from their twig rooftops. I swallow my idea of home, arms that fling in the air without worry. The headless horse treads through the night. He fills the sky behind him with pollution and modernism. And so here we stand, staring into new depths of new grain, new soil, and a promising beginning.
So, the moment I noticed my sexuality was with the daily girl talks that happened in my elementary school. Now, to start off every girl talk, every girl went around in a circle and just said who their latest crushes were. And the only name that was ever constant was Ahmed. He, by all the girls' standards, was the cutest boy around. But I was the only girl who didn't get the hype. My crush at the time was Sophia, my best friend. And as the girls keep going on, it hits me. I think I might be the only girl who has a crush on another girl. But of course I didn't say anything, you know. I smiled and played along by nodding my head, all while looking back at the ground nervously. And in the cafeteria, the boys and girls are separated. Sophia goes over and brings back her lunchbox to our table, and she opens up a can of Goya Vienna sausages. And she ate these things for lunch every day and always shared them with me. You know, try one, she said. Oh, I don't know. You know, I don't eat these. It's gonna taste good, I said. Of course, open up, she demanded. So I opened my mouth, and she just plopped the sausage inside. And I chewed, but I couldn't care less about the sausage. I just stared into her eyes. Do you like it? She asked me. Yeah, I like it a lot. But I was still mesmerized by her eyes, and unconsciously I go and I grab her hand, and she squeezes mine back. Gay, you hear one of the girls say to us. Lesbos, you hear another. Sophia ripped her hand from mine. We are not, she said, balled her fist and stomped her feet, and humiliated. She runs out of the cafeteria and into the bathroom, and I find her crying alongside the sink. Go away. She turns her back to me. Well, I'm sorry for grabbing your hand and making everyone laugh at you. I was calm in my approach. You know, I don't want to stop being friends. Neither do I, she says. And my heart beated faster with every inch closer I took to her. She lets go of the sink, turns around to give me her full attention. I grab her by the waist and I pull her in. She closes her eyes, tilts her head, and rests her lips on mine. It felt natural. We breathed in and out at the same time. We fell into each other. And we didn't question ourselves. This was obviously the gayest thing either one of us has done. But all the taunts just slipped out of our mind. And I had wanted this kiss, so bad. And I finally got it. You know, I scored Sophia, not Ahmed or any of the other boys. I did. And nothing could compare to the feeling that time just froze for us, as if the universe was telling me to enjoy every aspect of this moment of having Sophia's lips in a duet with my own. At the end of the day, I get in my family's car. I waved bye to Sophia at the schoolyard gate, and she waved bye back enthusiastically. And I just smiled the entire time. "Oh, is that one of your little girlfriends?" my mom asked me. "What? No, that's not one of my girlfriends. What you talking about?" "Well, it must be one of your girlfriends. You waved by to her." "I mean, yeah, she's just a friend, but you said girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend, though." "Well, that just means she's one of your friends. Not the other kind of girlfriend," my mom says. "Oh, well then yeah, she is my girlfriend. For sure."
Should a woman have a daughter, she'll walk her through life with a tight grip and show her obedience will be her name. She'll teach her how to mend a heart, but not her own, by creating boundaries for her and chastising her tongue. That her love is limited to family and duty, and her legs are not meant for cartwheels, but for crossing over each other. And life's purpose is to give till your sanity is permanently damaged. That catering is better than being catered to, and she'll show this when she dismantles her crown and bows to a man who leaves her in turmoil and brings no comfort, but turns to her daughter to praise him. The blooming daffodils of life are not worth a sniff, but embracing the pain of others is worth the toxic transfer. She'll teach her that life is hard and self-expression is not worth being reprimanded for. And if by chance she walks into smoke where her lungs are inflamed and tears overflow behind closed lids, better to hold her breath and let it pass. She'll teach her that her troubles are not worth 2 cents, so to tuck them into her heavy heart. That tight ropes are better than sidewalks.
The burdens and burdens of Babylon. She knew the cobblestone streets were really polished oyster shells etched with flowers that she made herself, her world from all that she came from. At nights the child spun, so she hangs the sun on the ceiling at dawn and knocks it down when night calls, and grows towards it in the morning and found her own light to bask in, wandered aimlessly in search of Eden. Wasn't she happy back then, when the golden wax sun gave her wings like Icarus, when spring was suspended between the palms of angels, gifted her monarch wings and stitched them into her spine? She escaped in her slumber, she subdued her murmuring conscience, hoping reality wouldn't call the truth. Celestial blackness lining Pave's dreams. Waning with the crescent moon, she crouched behind Orion and drew a shooting star with it. Her honey spiraling down the kitchen sink, water bugs feasting on it like city-bound men. Just a peek of her nectar. Her soul drank from Lake Erie in the glowing warmth of a womb. Horizon setting behind her body seeking a rebirth. She lets her pain grow until she cannot contain it. She tells herself to be more like a watermill, flowing with healing and pain in equal portion. Masked beneath gentle palms, psalms live in veins winding around cinnamon encapsulated limbs, bounded by melodies embedded in her marrow. Life tasted sweeter than Valencia oranges, but time flies like a fruit fly to a watermelon, and she can no longer smell the roses. Mother said the things you can grow in summer that won't die are grapefruit and hair. The soul too, canvassing in exile across a mirage of bronze flesh, she made a garden, and she cut her chest open for Demeter each full moon. Subsiding reality, obscured hymns, walking on a tightrope towards the sun, sacrificing lives at night. Lean girl, beaming girl, the clothesline is not a solution to an existential crisis. In this wilderness, she builds rooftops of her palms. She soaks in torrential rains. She could call it baptismal, but what is holy about banishment? But then she remembers Mother's I love yous melodiously echoing to the sounds of wind chimes, singing her a lullaby, an orchestra of jasmine,
Anew she awakens, and she is reminded, Mother whispers, let sorrow travel, be still, and light will enter.
I want to be where stopwatches stop watches, where men walk on the wings of a flying plane and toys climb out of their tin trash cans, the only place where corpses and cocks can crow in harmony. It's dawn and I haven't heard a rooster yet. Maybe I mistook the sunset for rise again. Or maybe the sun did rise and bleed on an unshaved day. Hilly flanks of flesh fluoresce with fresh sunlight. A razor couldn't grate the rays on my back. Instead, a pair of scissors to trim this pregnant paws. Or a fork, just not chopsticks, because I can't balance any more dumplings from the plate to my mouth. I know you've got a lot on yours, and I've been practicing carrying 3 at a time. But between living in a universe that chews me like candy and eating all of my vegetables, my plates are stacking high. But drinks could use a refill. I'll have a tonic and thyme with a splash of dark matter. I'll put cosmic dust in my Cheerios while you snort it in the bathroom. That reminds me, I'm not a morning person, or a snorting person, or a snoring person. I mistake happiness for nausea, so forgive me for vomiting in your bathroom, and forgive me for lying about it afterwards. I hoped you couldn't smell the acid on my tongue. I'm usually good at hiding these things.
Your perfect life, your sweet, beautiful life. It reeks of delusion and denial. You purposely put on your horse blinders, ignoring those being affected by government marginalism as you focus on which stock to invest in. Your perfect life, while she remains home and he brings the bread and butter. Your sweet life, raising your children in a monochrome suburbia, keeping them oblivious to the wrongs of the world. While they live a life of surplus, others struggle to earn the minimum wage. Your beautiful life, traveling to picturesque islands, taking in the artificial scenery as the locals diminish into piles of bones. Militiamen guard you from this unsightly poverty. How wonderful it is to be blinded by luxury, sheltered by dollars, protected by politicians, and ignorant to those suffering.
How hard is it to sleep when angst is pounding at the door with 3 a.m. cravings for a slice of joy? Lately, I've been floating in my dreams. Nostalgia lies at the foot of my bed, just full from the cackling of cool kids with no direction. Full from the flavor of first loves taught with boys who knew no better. Full from premature spliffs and smoke spilling onto sporadic conversations. She persuades me through the night, feeding me false hope and fades away whenever she gets bored of me. As the laughing track booms in the background, I sleep into my bed sheets and wonder if it will ever taste the same again. At 10, I shuffle the blankets between my legs, put the pillow on the poolside. At 12, my eyes swipe from the edge of the bed as I trace the blemishes on the walls. At 3, misery stumbles on my doormat, with sorrow crusting in the corners of her sunken eyes, lips charred from frequent chain smoking. His chest hollow, bearing what is left of a solid spirit. I stay still, my eyelids bound tight. Don't move, don't breathe. Go away, no one is home. He is no friend of mine, no one to admire. He is more of an obligation. When he comes knocking, I'm forced to lie awake. Misery pleads for an invitation, desperate for my company. He's lost and sick and tired, just as I have been for a while. If not me, who else will let him in? I have to help him. I have to fix him. I shatter promises I've made for myself to stay in bed, to fall asleep until dawn, just to invite misery in for a cup of coffee.
There is a beautiful softness in the scent of blood oranges, and as you lay beside me, creamy magnolia skin against brown, we chew pomegranate seeds in the meadow that sighs for our arrival. Your hair, warm orange like the Virginia Bay sun, spreads within the nape of your neck in gentle curls. Rosy cheeks cover dark freckles that scatter about like poppy seeds, and frame lips that pout in pink and speak in hushed tones, with a smile that brightens the absence of light on my front porch. Together, we laugh at the ignorance of the world, at the false love that hides between 12 and 18, and the little white boy that believes dark skin is only good enough to touch. Hand in hand, we watch from afar as people press themselves into ribbons, sometimes stopping to acknowledge that we also enjoy being stagnant as long as it means we are one. Because losing one another would mean turning to the color of glass, would mean I would no longer bear a heart of lemon cherry water ice, of hugs on Broad Street, of overbearing laughs on train carts, and of first tears within red hallways. And for this, Angelia, I thank and love you.
When I saw him walk by, he had his Walkman, colorful zigzag shirt, sending me a 90s vibe. I don't see ones like him anymore. These days, it only takes place online. He sits down next to me. What caught my attention were his eyes, of bronze, a shade of coffee that could keep me awake all day. It's been so long since I've seen such eyes, because all the ones I can remember have only been glued to a screen, hypnotized by what they have seen, and in time, only start to fiend.
Ooh, baby, you refine my vision of love, it seems. Your love be the cherry in my chocolate covered dreams. So it seems, my oh my, me and those dreamy eyes of mine.
When he began to speak, it was like black and white had turned to color. For once, lost connections, low batteries, and line emojis didn't apply. No need for the LOLs and OMGs, more face-to-face and soul-to-soul. He didn't comment under my picture, but instead commented on the essence of my words. He didn't leave me on red, but instead he tried to read my mind. He didn't reply her eyes under my post, but in person, describe why he liked mine. My heart had started to bang against my chest as butterflies submerged in my stomach. Like a firefly yearning to escape its glass jar, burning brightly.
I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control, and something takes over me in the day, and it's so amazing. It's not a phase. I want you to stay with me by my side. I swallow my pride. Your love is so sweet, and it knocks me right off of my feet. I can't explain why your love, it makes me weak.
But that is not all. A misty deja vu fills the air as if he's been through my mind.
Killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
energy. He was so connected with what was around him. No picture taken or videos to explain himself to a world that doesn't care. For so long, I had wished for someone not concerned of their followers, but instead concerned what path he should follow. He looked me in my eyes and told me to live in the moment. He said you will never enjoy an experience if you're too busy posting about how much you're enjoying the experience. But you gotta prove. The answer is nothing. You and me don't have to prove a single thing. So get your head out of your phone and in the clouds. Take your headphones out and blast 90s R&B. Dance with who you want and don't you dare post it.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Listen to Tupac and keep your head up.
See, that's what that voice in your head says when you try to get peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind.
Her fingers dig deep into the soil of her spawn's mind, cuticles in her scalp. For hours under the heat of sun rays, she stood planting crops in straight lines with her whole body. Now she sits as the world's light flickers and hides curly coils under clumps of cream and sews them into rows of corn. Her baby girl complains.
They're too tight.
She sighs.
Hold still.
And the child questions why she needs them.
How do you tell a child just before a race that the others will have a head start? Scratch away their wives like scabs, drown their that's not fair peroxide, and mask their pain in band-aids. How do you teach them how you've lived
with your head hung low and your hopes too high? You don't, you say.
Because I said so.
The world hasn't been safe for us since the sun kissed our skin. And she knows this, but she doesn't want her child to be jaded to the world.
To cry when her father is taken miles away or when her children are someone else's property.
Nothing hurts more than for a mother to realize that the only way to protect her black baby was to never have had her at all. Knowing that the pain of a whip will never own up to the pain of having nowhere to belong but in her mother's arms. To know that these braids will never be as tight as a noose around her neck. Black girls have been taught that no matter what generation, you will never be worthy. They say times have changed. They aren't wrong. That baby girl now has her own. She stood all day bussing tables with bleach soaking through the scabs on her fingertips, on her break studying for her bachelor's, bowing to men like masters. Now she sits under the noise of nightly news and weaves tight tendrils on her teen's head.
I've learned from my mother's mistakes. I told my daughter that fear is the safest way to live in a cold Caucasian world.
She watches her own wish for nothing more than a fair chance, wishing to feel less inferior to all of the lighter skin and softer hair around her, wishing for society's blindness to turn from black on black crime to
police with guns that shoot, with outstretched hands and
digits that pull triggers like they flip switches and release rounds that
these braids will never be as tight as handcuffs or hands clutched around my neck. I can't breathe. I can't beat.
Mama, please.
A mother's shield can only protect her child while she is short enough to hide behind it. Because as black folk, we are here today and gone tomorrow.
I tell her because money, because burnt skin and broad skin, because invisible whips
hurt just as much as the ones you can see. So when your daughter asks you for the truth, just say it. Black is the skin we're in.
It's the place no one wants to live.
But everybody loves those
doors and the curves, the windows.
They love the roof and the big jacuzzi that flows water thick as blood.
But don't want to pay the price for living there.
Tell them when they see girls that ain't black with black styles that they should be proud to be an inspiration. And tell them to tell those girls with skin like satin sheets that the white way ain't always the right way and that a little character is better than being the same and that
if y'all ain't staying,
get the hell out of my house.
belong to more than just a grave.
To live and be great in all the blackness bestowed upon us.
We're sick of history
repeating itself.
When will we get the chance to find peace of I gotta find peace of mind. I gotta find
America! Tell me, when did we hit our peak of greatness? Was it before 9/11 when the government felt too comfortable running on untied shoes? Or when minorities' marginalization wasn't questioned? When was America great?
Land of the caged, home of the subconsciously oppressed. What have we done? We have desecrated this place. Nowhere is safe.
America, I remember who I was, lifted from between prison bars and shackles. I was one with my people. Black president in office, we are equal, if equal meant being hunted.
Your medical system is simply business. You make my father's insulin too high and our coverage too low. You make me wait because of my weight, and now my kneecap is out of place. Mass consumption, overproduction. How can a country be so wasteful? Gluttonous citizens only follow the ways of a gluttonous government.
Capitalism is the father of poverty and failing schools. Greed is his twin brother, and socialism is the black sheep of the family.
America, you are the mixed child of the world, raised by a justly blind father and an abused mother. You were created in the image of acceptance, yet you've betrayed that. It is easy to see now that you have grown into your father.
America, you're fed lies that other equals dumber, stuck in a mentality of you over me. You will not yell at my grandmother, laugh at my mother, you will face me.
I'm painting the walls blue and red, and this is my declaration of anger. For all that we have ever known is letters sent home, written with blood and quill. The blood on American sidewalks don't make them Band-Aids. Don't make these streets treadmills because brothers are always running down them. Don't give their creators the right to use the cracks in these sidewalks as doors hiding secrets and harsh cement dried under the tears of black men and women.
I will never forget your metallic hypocrisy and attachable sins. Where red and blue burn black and children, small and brown, realize they will always be repurposed.
And soon, the poor will be paid in daydreams of being the winged warrior, while making dentures out of baby teeth for those who fear irrelevancy more than poverty.
Humans drink their own tears because the government turned their water off. Artificial happiness is the way to go. It will only cost a small fee of lead poisoning.
Let the tide rise, they said, while the levee tore apart. We watched the soul of New Orleans wash down rain gutters as we guzzled wine and nibbled on cheese in our lazy boys.
Your lavishness will be on a billboard for everyone to see. You ignore the pain you cause when you lay in bed. You don't use your power for good, and everyone can see your flaws except for you.
The world's greatest democracy is standing in front of the mirror, waiting for someone else to wipe off the caked on layers of power and privilege, only to see your reflection fall. America, we are still waiting to see your true face.
My back is sore from contorting my limbs to fit into your mold. America, you're starting not to feel like a home anymore. My body doesn't feel like a home anymore.
because you remind me that I am not mansion material.
America the Beautiful tells us we are beautiful, dips us in wax and poses our bodies in the perpetual state of salute. We put a cement wall across our lawn instead of a white picket fence. When will we wake up from this great American dream?
A well overdue assessment of values. Guns, reality television, guns, sports. I'm waiting for enough liberty for all of us, enough freedom, enough justice for us all.
America, let my home be a home again, a place where I know why the caged bird sings, a place where I can sing in harmony, screeching liberty. America, will you please free me?
Before we release you for the night, we just have a couple sorry for trapping you, but we have a couple of thank yous. So first, we would love to thank the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented, the sweet, the patient, Miss Cramney. To work with stubborn, annoying writers who hate being seen by the public and forcing us to make a hopefully wonderful and enjoyable show. Second of all, we would like to thank Mr. Schobel. Year, we were kind of lost, I guess, as to how things would go. So thank you for always being there to pick up the small details everyone else was confused or lost about, and for staying here after school every day, rehearsing with us, and preparing us in class throughout the day. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Govig. Well, you can go and get your money. But I would like to say thank you so much for volunteering your mornings and afternoons and evenings for the past couple of weeks to work on lighting and sound and directing and staging and everything with us. Without you, we would just be fumbling here on the stage, honestly. So thank you so much. And last, but definitely not
I would like to thank Mike back there on the soundboard. There was so much like music and lights and different dances, and without you, it would be silent. Honestly, so thank you for allowing everyone to hear us. Thank you so much. And finally, I would like to thank the audience for coming out here tonight, showing your support. Thank you all. Oh, and also, Maya, are you up there? Are you still up there? Hey, what's up? I would like to thank you for working our slides. And also, we cannot forget Kelly's Thank you, Kelly.
I believe we have a couple winners that you maybe paid money for. All right, you want to pick the first one? And this is for which one?
Number 1, this is Steve Madden purse.
Okay.
And your ticket number is 8457388. 8457388. I mean, if you don't want it, I'll take it. Okay, 8457393. 8457393. You want some CAPA here? Anybody?